Sir Elton, it's lovely to see you again, my
Thank
friend.
you.
Looking as fragrant as ever.
Thank you very much. Springtime, you know.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
and it's busting out all over, particularly in Sherlock Gnomes. Gnomeo and Juliet are back.
They are. They moved to London from Stratford, and they're all happy families because the Capulet and Montagues families all joined together. And now they're down from Stratford-upon-Avon and they moved down to the Big Smoke. But things aren't all as they seem.
Indeed, hence Sherlock Gnomes' involvement, of course.
Well, because all the gnomes in London start being captured and disappearing, and they don't know where they're going. Yeah. When Gnomeo goes to the shop to try and get an orchid for Juliet, all the gnomes in the garden are stolen. And so this is the case for Sherlock Gnomes, who's the gnome saviour of London.
Well, who else could save the gnomes?
I don't know. No, who knows? I don't know.
I mean, some people, gnomes obviously divide the nation. My mum collects them.
Right.
So she's got quite a few on a little terrace that she's got, a very humble abode here in London. Other people not quite so keen. So some people would argue there's a strong case for stealing gnomes.
Nomophobia around. Yeah.
There's nomophobia around, indeed.
Yes.
How do you stand with gnomes? I can't imagine your
I
lovely
love
spread
a gnome.
little.
I like
do
a
you?
nice. Yeah, we have a couple of gnomes in our house in London. In fact, we have about 8 in a row, but they're different kind of gnomes. They're really kind of quite arty. And then we have a couple in the garden in Nice with the bare buttocks.
With bare buttocks in Nice?
Yes, of course.
Were you ever prone to collect other things, Elton? You know, people.
Me?
I mean, I collect
collect everything.
Well, I know you do. I mean, art and all
Yeah.
those sort of things. But I mean, like whimsy animals. Do you remember those old ceramic animals of old?
Yes.
Yeah.
We had. Yeah. But I used to the earliest thing I used to collect was cigarette cards, and things like that. And in a packet of PG Tips, you used to get a photograph of an animal or a bird, and you used to buy the book to stick them in. But you always got the same bird out the packet, so it's like you ended up with that 3 birds missing all the time. So it's a big con. But never mind. Yes, I'm a big collector, and. But anyway, back to the film.
Back to the film.
Back
Yes,
to the film.
Back to the gnomes. Obviously, James McAvoy's back. We love him. What a legend. Emily
Emily
Blunt as well.
Blunt,
Emily is just fantastic. There's no end of talent attached to this. Clearly, I'm sure that's because it's your name above the door along with David's.
Yeah. I think people like to do voiceovers in movies. Yeah.
Your lads must be all over it.
They've seen it twice. They love it.
Yeah.
And they love the original, but they like this one better because it's a little bit more adventurous. And it's different from the other one was kind of sweet and funny. And this one's a bit more darker.
And it's a proper caper as well. I mean, it's a real romp.
It's a real
London.
caper. They have to find the gnomes before they get crushed to death. And they go all over London.
That's quite dark.
And you know, Moriarty, who's a brilliant character, is very evil. Of course, he's the nemesis of Watson and Sherlock Gnomes. And yeah, it all ends up at Tower Bridge, and it's a great fun. But it's it's not Coco. It's not it's not a lovely sweet film for kids. It's a kind of dark film. Maybe it's too dark. I don't know.
No,
my kids love it.
Well, kids love that kind of gothic feel.
Well, it's a bit like Indiana Jones, or a bit of it's an adventure.
Yeah, of course they do. They love all of that. You're lit up from the moment you actually sit down and watch it. Obviously, there's nothing not to love about the gnomes, even if you do suffer from a little bit of nomophobia.
Right.
That soon wears off very quickly, because what's not to love with them? But your music, I mean, here is your music, still obviously alive and kicking, much like your good self, but very much part of a kid's movie.
Right.
Did you ever imagine it would be the sort of soundtrack to...
No, of course not. I mean, when I wrote those songs years and decades ago, in the days of Florence Nightingale, I never knew what they'd end up to be in. So it's just it's great to hear that the bits of the songs and some of the music.
How are the boys anyway? Aside
They're
from being
absolutely
gnome fans?
thriving. They love their school. They're 7 and 5.
I can't believe they're 7 and 5
I know.
already.
And Zachary is incredibly into soccer. He plays for the Watford 7 team, the academy team. He loves that. He's really into it. And Elijah loves music, and they both love music, but Elijah especially loves music. Yeah. So they're thriving. They're great kids. They're funny. They keep us amused. And David took them away to on half term to go skiing because they ski very well. The house was a nightmare. It was just like it was empty. There was no laughter in the house. It was just. I love it. That's why I'm coming off the road after the world tour, is because I need to be there for them. I need to spend the time with them. I miss them so much when I'm not with them.
I follow you very closely on Instagram, and obviously follow the boys very closely as well, and how they've blossomed. You must feel that love as well when you...
They're the most loving children. We love them,
and from the fans too.
We don't flaunt the boys very much. We put pictures of them on Instagram usually with their heads back to front. So we don't really want to exploit them. We try and keep them out of the limelight because we want to have them to have somewhat of a normal life, although they can't because they're our children. But we want them to go to school and not be celebrity kids.
Yeah, of course, and you do that brilliantly well. Life on the road. You mentioned coming off it. It's quite a long farewell tour, though.
It's 3 years, and it's 100 shows a year, which I normally do anyway, because I'm a working musician. I always work 100 shows a year, no matter where. But this one's, we stayed out of the big cities in America, so we're back in the big cities. We've sold 82 shows out in an hour, each one. It's amazing. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it so much because it's going to be it's going to be beautiful to look at, and hopefully people will. I'm looking forward to saying goodbye. And it's not a publicity stunt because I am saying goodbye to touring. I've had enough. It's not. I've been criticised by certain people for doing this, and they said it's a publicity trick. But it's not. It's just not a publicity trick to sell tickets. We're going on sale for the last time, and we're saying goodbye to them for the last time. I won't be going to Australia, South America, South Africa, Europe, and everything again on tour. This is it.
So it's the end of touring, but you're not retiring.
I'm going to make records. I might do a residency after all the dust is done. Kate Bush did 3 weeks at Hammersmith Odeon, something like that, but not playing all the hits again. I can't go out and do that again. I've had that, and that's what my career's been about in the last 35, 40 years, and I've been very grateful for that. But to be honest with you, I want to move on and do different things, and I don't want to go out doing the same old stuff, and so it's got to change. And also, I've done music all my life. I maybe want to do something else. I'd like to continue and do more philanthropic work, go and visit our AIDS projects more. But most of it is going to be spending time with the children.